So guys, Rufai Oseni of Arise TV has replied Sheikh Gumi, who was spotted in Turkey, saying there is no Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. Instead, Christians are burying empty coffins. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. But before we get into that reaction, take a look at some of this headline. Here it says, Bono Senator Ndume laments as Boko Haram buys 4 farmers, set church ablaze. This is Christian-dominated areas. They killed 4 and set the church ablaze. This is a today's headline. So guys, that's to tell you that horrible things are happening in this country. Now, Ted Cruz said something today, and this is what he said on his Twitter post. He said, Nigeria's Sharia law, other policies create room for Christian persecution, slaughter. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz. This is what he said, that this is one of the reasons why Christians have been by, because of Sharia law. And we all know how, the Northerners, the Muslims, they are canvassing for the Sharia law to be brought to the Southwest, to be brought even to the Southeast and other parts of Nigeria. They just want to Islamize this country at all costs. So guys, I'm going to allow you to take a look at some of these clips. Take your time, watch these videos, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Controversial Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has accused some Christian groups in Nigeria's Middle Belt of staging fake mass killings to fabricate a genocide narrative. In a statement shared on his verified Facebook page, Gumi claimed that a doctor informed him that certain groups are burying empty coffins and recording the process as if real victims were killed to push the narrative of a Christian genocide. Gumi wrote on Facebook, "A doctor wrote me, do you know that some Middle Belt Christian groups are now staging fake mass killings? They are burying empty coffins and recording the process as if real victims were killed just to push the narrative of a Christian genocide. This is desperation at its peak, a disgrace, manipulating information just to provoke hatred and international sympathy." Gumi further described the genocide allegations as part of what he called a well-orchestrated plan to attack Sharia law and fuel Islamophobia. He urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to summon the U.S. ambassador and demand an official retraction of Trump's threat or consider severing diplomatic ties with the United States. However, Northern Can President John Hayab has dismissed Gumi's claims, accusing the cleric of lying and manipulation. Rufai, I'd like for you to tie in both stories. First, the comment from Yusuf Tuga, and also, this is a serious allegation made by Sheikh Ahmad Gumi.
Please, with due respect, I must have to beg. It's not that hard to tell the truth. There's Christian genocide. People like Sheikh Gumi, from saying that Muslims are being killed, Christians are being killed, now they're trying to deny the corpses of people that died. And
I have actually seen videos, Rufai, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you on this one, about the coffins. I have seen open coffins of entire family members, babies, all Christians, being buried.
It has now shown that it's a propaganda people are trying to play. Yeah. But you see, in life, you will be judged by what you did. And we should be careful. Sheikh Gumi, in his propagandish nature, is now saying that these killings never happened, by saying that some of the coffins, or by saying that somebody sent him a message that some of the coffins are not what? That you don't have people in them. He's not going to deny the fact that we're going to say it again, and they might not like it. I don't want to be popular. I want to stand in justice at all times. There's Christian genocide in Nigeria, and please, let's find a way to solve it. Let's not do this propaganda. Let's not pit people against each other. And let's not deny the killings and the pains of Christians. We have to say things the way they are so that the government will solve this problem. The first approach the government took showed that they wanted to go the line of changing the narrative, which was wrong. Nobody's saying anything to spite anybody. We are speaking the truth so that we can get action.
Yes, absolutely.
And Sheikh Gumi saying this, he's very bad and insightful.
Really insightful.
And I'm shocked that Sheikh Gumi is saying this. Nobody's talking back at him.
Really?
Government is not saying anything. We are just looking.
All right.
It's not fair.
This is unfair, Dr. Bati, really unfair. I'd like to emphasize the point again that Professor Wole Soyinka made. You weren't here when we took the story where he talked about the fact that the people that are killing the Christians are Islamist extremists. They are not the regular Muslims, they are jihadists. And we have heard this over and over again. Unfortunately, I can't take your call.
This conversation has been on for weeks now as regards, number one, the fact that Nigeria has been placed on the list of country of particular concern, and of course this linking to allegations of a perceived or alleged Christian genocide. I mean, for you as a Nigerian, there has been diverse reactions to this, some for, some against. What's your take?
I think that it's about time that an honest conversation is held about the situation in Nigeria and the Nigerian condition, especially life for minorities in Nigeria, life for different tribes in Nigeria, life for Christians in Nigeria. I think an honest conversation needs to be held. And I'm glad that that conversation is happening now, because a lot of the time when these conversations are being held, I've been a part of a lot of peace and conflict resolution committees for Southern Kaduna and the Middle Belt. And none of these things amount to anything, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of insincerity in the conversation. And, you know, Trump's statements have brought the conversation bare for all of us. We have to have that conversation now. And at the moment, I mean, I come from Southern Kaduna. I come from a Christian family in Southern Kaduna, and I know what my people have witnessed. I know what it feels like existing in Southern Kaduna, especially in the last regime, under the last government, under El Rufai. It was a really, really tough time for
sorry, for the benefit of those watching, can you just give an idea of what you experienced and your family experienced in Southern Kaduna?
My village was attacked a couple of years ago. My village was attacked a couple of years ago, and we're a very small unit. You know, I'm Fanswan. We're a small unit within Southern Kaduna. Southern Kaduna is the larger. There are like 53 tribes in Southern Kaduna, and my village is one of the tribes. Like my village houses one of the tribes. And a couple of years ago in June, armed men stormed our village and just started shooting sporadically. Right? They started shooting, killed a lot of people, and then they burnt houses and they left. And it's this kind of attacks we've been facing. Prior to this, what used to happen is we could be having a peaceful day in Kafanchan, for example, which is the larger place where I come from. We could be having a peaceful day in Kafanchan, and then prayer would be called in the mosque, and we'll just sense, you know, a sense of, okay, this is not the kind of normal prayer that is being called. Something is happening. And then a crisis will start, and our people would have to run, our people would have to push back, our people would have to fight back, people would lose their lives, and then police would come, you know, everybody back to your tent, and life continues like we were not attacked. And it had been happening like that. But after a while, that changed. We were no longer seeing the attacks from the people within the Kafanchan vicinity. We started seeing the attacks from people in the bush. So they were coming from the bushes, attack. It was no longer like riots. It was no longer like the normal crisis we have been experiencing. I mean, if you notice, once these herdsmen attacks and these terrorist attacks took over, the attacks from the city, the crisis reduced, because this is now the new method, or this is the new ways in which these attacks happen to our people. So these people coming from the bushes, they shoot at our people, kill people, burn houses, do what it is they want to do, and they disappear. A lot of the times our people will also say, look, we are seeing people in the bushes, so we know where they are in the bushes. You will point them out to the military. We know, we have seen them here. Nothing will be done. We'll be attacked. Our people have also tried, you know, to arm themselves, you know, make local weapons that they can use for our boys to do vigilante and protect themselves. It's happening in the Northeast. In the Northeast, for example, there is a civilian joint task force. But in the Middle Belt, we've been asking for the longest time, okay, can our people protect themselves? You know, what happens is the military will come in, collect the weapons from our boys, arrest some of our boys are still in jail. From a long time ago, from Buhari's government, some of our boys are still in jail. Arrest our boys, take them away, arrest anybody that's trying to make makeshift weapons to help the people, take them away, and make it look like, oh, attempting to protect ourselves is an art of war. And it just like I said, it has been a lot of insincerity around the conversation, and this has been leading to the death of our people. So the bottom line of all of this, our people are dying. We are dying.
In the Cato, just to put, I mean, these attacks that you have mentioned in your community, in your village in Southern Kaduna, just to put it within context, are these attacks around religion or tribe? Because, I mean, with reference to the allegation of a Christian genocide.
No, I would say in Southern Kaduna, for example, we are predominantly Christians in Southern Kaduna, and when we would join the peace and conflict resolution committees, for example, you will hear things like, oh, we were attacked in one part of Southern Kaduna. Okay, so there are 53 tribes in Southern Kaduna. right? Over 53. I've listed them on social media one time. There are over 53 tribes in southern Kaduna. And you claim, for example, that you were attacked in a place like Kogoro. Let's give an example of Kogoro. Why are you attacking Kafanchan? Different tribes, different people. Why are you attacking Kafanchan? What does it have? So the excuses have been so many, but at the bottom of it all is that Christians have been getting killed. And how you would know that this is targeted religious and tribal is that, number one, churches are targeted. Our churches are burnt down. Our priests are targeted. Pastors are targeted. You know, it is. I mean, this has been going on for so many years. And I would like to point out something that we're not holding in this conversation. Dapo. When this thing started, especially like the broader Boko Haram and all of that terrorism started, it started with the Christians first. Those were the people who were first getting attacked. I remember in places like Borno where they would say, oh, Igbo boys cannot do their shop. We, cannot put the mannequins in their shop because it's haram. You cannot do this. You cannot sell this kind of clothes. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. Christian neighborhoods were being attacked. I will remember talking to a lot of people and they'll be like, oh, no, they're just trying to push Sharia law. They just believe that education is a sin. They are not after anybody. Excuses were made for these people at the time. And I'm wondering why Nigeria is having this conversation without accepting that, this thing happened at that time. We're trying to brush over it. Excuses were made at the time when Boko Haram came out, when it did not look like they were going to be attacking Muslims too. Their first targets, their primary targets used to be Christians before they spread and it became everybody. And now, there's fire on the mountain. So I remember when all of this started, it wasn't everyone, it was a group of people. And it's the same thing in the Middle Belt. You'll be shocked that even on social media, the conversation around bandits and terrorists, when Middle Belt people start saying that we are getting killed, people who are complaining that they are getting killed in places like Zamfara and Katsina will tell us that, yes, we are attacking Fulani people. That is why they are killing us. So even while they are still suffering the killings of bandits, they are still making excuses for bandit killings in areas that have people who are not like them. And this is a very dangerous part of the conversation. All of this, when you look at all of this, people who make excuses for terrorism, people who are extremists, which is a problem, a serious problem that we have in northern Nigeria, religious extremism, specifically Islamic extremism. People who are extremists have been allowed to have a field day in Nigeria. Extremism is the founding father of this terrorism.
Extremism. I think I'll pick it from what where you stopped. You said extremism being the founding father of terrorism, according to you. Well, joining this conversation after the break, we'll be bringing Mohammed Nuru Khalid. He's an Islamic cleric to also speak on this matter. Stay with us. We will be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. And of course, joining this conversation right now as regards Nigeria being placed on the list of country of particular concern by the U.S. is Sheikh Mohammed Nuru Khalid, is an Islamic cleric. Thank you for your time, sir. Let me also take your reaction to Nigeria being placed on the list of countries of particular concern and also the allegation of a Christian genocide. Is this the situation, particularly in some parts of the country?
Well, let me begin by saying that it is very unfortunate that Nigeria has been placed in as a country of particular concern by the U.S. government. And let me also sympathize with the Christians that were part of the victims of the killing, and also sympathize with all Nigerians that have faced this kind of killing over time. I listened to many, and I have been in one or two conversations about this issue of genocide. But I think if you listen carefully about the narratives and counter narratives that we have, is that people are saying that, yes, there is killing in Nigeria. And this is a fact. There is killing in Nigeria. And for a long period of time. And in some places, you find Christians are the victims more, and in some places, the Muslims are more. But it is not good for us to be counting who is the victim, who was killed. But the victims are Nigerians, and the government is supposed to be protecting people, regardless of their faith and their language, their political alliance, their geographical location, and what have you. We have to acknowledge the fact that Nigeria has been facing these challenges for a long period of time, and the government for that period of time have failed to provide the necessary security needed in the country.
All right,
and that is why some citizens went to US to complain. And that is why the US is now trying to take action, or it has started some necessary...
Sheikh, I'm sorry to interrupt your line of thought, but maybe I should move to specifics here. What about, what's your reaction to issues around extremism, religious extremism, and some sort of what some would describe as a jihadist agenda?
Well, if you look at what the Boko Haram are doing, is extremism. And they term what they are doing as jihad. But we in the scholarship line of Islam, we know that what they are doing is not jihad. And they are not representing the majority Muslims. As such, we must acknowledge, we must agree that yes, there are some Muslims who went to extreme end of so-called Islam, and they are killing people. That is the Boko Haram, the Iswap, the Ansar, the Laukurawa, the Ahmadi. All these are reality, but they are not representing. They are not representing us. We are kicking against what they are doing. All my preaching is witness to that. Therefore, we must agree that yes, there are some extremists amongst us, and we must deal with them if we want to stay in peace in Nigeria. We must agree to some extent Christians were the victims.
All right, thank you so much, Sheikh. Let's bring it to the conversation. Larry Toluyi, he's a political strategist. He joins from the United Kingdom. Thank you for your time, Larry. Now, Larry, I would like you to, of course, explore the angle of how the government has addressed this issue over the years, which many have pointed, in that direction, saying the government has not been sincere, has been, lopsided, has not been tactical enough, even though we know a bulk of our budget goes into security spending. So I would like you to just quickly, in 30 seconds or less, just take us through. Do you think the Nigerian government, from the inception of the Boko Haram, that is, has really been tactical and thorough in handling this matter?
Good evening, everyone. Like I said, no time, but I think the Nigerian government have not done well. It is not their fault. I think the problem started with our constitution, because from our constitution, I think our constitution is not being well implemented. When you look at the fourth line of Nigerian constitution, it tells you this is sacrosanct, this is binding, every other law goes into it. And immediately after we have that conversation in Nigeria, you see at the same time we say we are a secular nation, but at the same time we see some part of the nation wanting to implement Sharia, which is not, because the Sharia can only happen in the state, if the country has a state religion. And we said we have freedom of association, so we don't have freedom of association. That's why you see in some part of the country, just like people have spoken, some people will say you cannot do this, you cannot do this, because that's not going in line with this kind of religion. And it shouldn't be so, because we are a secular nation. And because we are a secular nation, that will have helped the government to do what they need to do. But every government will see none of them have displayed the political will to do what is right, because it's not about spending billions or trillions of naira on security and defense equipment. We must actually address the root cause, and we must do a root cause analysis, then address what the problem is. And I think addressing this problem, we need to first look at our constitution and ensure that our constitution is implemented by making Nigeria a secular nation. Any other law or any other religious law or anything should be at the back burner.
But just to quickly interject, the government has said that Nigeria, I mean, even in its statements in reaction to what the US has said, I said Nigeria practices diverse religion and it's pretty open. The government did emphasize that in all of its conversations around it. So is it an issue of it not being in the constitution, or an issue of implementation in a way, recognition and implementation in a way? Is that the angle you're touring?
Yeah, that's the angle I'm touring, because when you see, look, we say we are a secular nation. In our constitution, Sharia is mentioned how many times, Grand Kadi is being mentioned in how many places. So these are the things we're talking about. We are a secular nation. So a Grand Kadi shouldn't be mentioned, a Sharia shouldn't be mentioned, a canon law shouldn't be mentioned. Do you get what I'm saying? It should be that we have a constitution, and when we have the constitution, that will not empower the government to do what they need to do. So if anybody or any state or anybody is guarding to say, oh, we are this, we are that, we want to implement the canon law, they can be met with the equal force, because we are lax and we are not maintaining that. We just have these things written in papers and we are not implementing them.
All right, thank you so much, Lanre Toluyi. In the Cato, just in 30 seconds, what's your take on the idea of reintegration, rehabilitation of quote-unquote repentant terrorists?
It is insulting. It's an insult by the government on the victims of these terrorists. That is not the way to go. And I think that has sent a clear message to, external people, external bodies, that Nigeria is not serious about their approach to terrorism, because you cannot see people destroying lives, taking lives, destroying lives and properties, and saying that, the best way to do this is to rehabilitate these people. I understand, giving a soft landing may encourage some of them to leave terrorism, but it has not worked. It has not worked over the years, and we're still back to this. The first thing Nigeria needs to do to tackle terrorism is to tackle Islamic extremism. That is a major problem. It's a conduit. It's the founding, like I said, the founding father of terrorism in Nigeria, and we have to look at that. Extremism is the problem. We cannot continue to coddle terrorism.
All right, thank you so much. Sheikh, before I let you go, sir, there's also been a lot of conversation around Sharia law and the Nigerian constitution. I would like you to, in 30 seconds, if you can just put some sort of clarity to it. The Sharia law, the boundaries around it, particularly in lieu of the nation's constitution.
Well, I think what we need to do in Nigeria, if really we want to tackle the issue, is to go back and look into our constitution. I'm referring you to Section 38 of the Constitution, which deals with the freedom of religion. Now, if you look at it and look at what is if you look at the issue on ground, the issue of Sharia is something that will contradict one another. So we need to, first of all, sit down and look into our constitution and amend what is amendable, that will make us live together without somebody encroaching the right of other. Muslims are saying that they want Sharia, and it is constitutional right. They mentioned some sections of the Constitution that is giving them that right. Now, if you look at the section of the Constitution I quoted earlier and bring them together, you find a contradiction. And to remove that discrepancy, we must come together, use the National Assembly and change what is changeable or amend what is amendable, not to be talking on the air about Qadi, about Sharia. That will not solve the problem. We must go to the National Assembly and amend the Constitution that will make Nigeria look as a secular state or multi-religious state.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. These are the things we are saying about, what Nigerians are going through. Anyway, let's see how Nigerians are reacting to what Ted Cruz said. This person said, you guys are just toothless tiger. Can't do anything but cap and cap after giving reasonable Nigerians hope. And this person said, while the headline is alarming, it's important to note that many Nigerian Muslims do not support such laws. Let's avoid generalization and promote understanding. That does not take away the fact that there is Christian and ethnic genocide going on in Nigeria. And this person, Senator Ted Cruz, only said what many Nigerians whisper in fear. Some state-level policies, especially Sharia-influenced governors, have created an environment where religious persecution thrives unchecked. And this person here said the law in Sharia brought blasphemy, which by Deborah. And this one says Islam and Christianity are two weapons fashioned against the people. Why is the West and Arab interested in Arabizing and westernizing Africa, leaving Africa divided and vulnerable in insecurity, exploitation, and manipulation? And this person, Christian customary law, or something like that should also be created to counterbalance the Muslim Sharia law. I think this should be fair deal. Yes, it makes sense. Honestly, it makes sense. This one says too much talk. Oga come and bomb them to hell. Christians, Ted Cruz and Trump will be savior. All power to US. And this one says it's called a secular country for national reason. One country with two laws. This Ted Cruz is intelligent. Honestly, so this is Ted Cruz saying that why many Christians are going through this genocide of a thing is because the country has, allowed Sharia law to even replace its law. I mean, let me just say, like in Nigeria, we have this law, like Sharia law is like has displaced the real law. People obey the Sharia law even more than they obey the real law. And I don't think that makes sense. It makes no sense. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.
I'd like to take this story so we can take, our milestone as well. But, we'll continue to follow up on the story. And, we would expect some more sympathy from the federal government of Nigeria regarding this very, very sensitive issue. The Nigerian army for 13 years stated that she joined with her whole heart to serve the country, but has not had peace of mind since enlisting. She maintained that she has been victimized for refusing sexual advances from senior officers. Let's take a look.
I am not a criminal. I've never been found wanting since I joined the army. I've been doing the work with my whole heart because of the frustration of officer wanting to sleep with me, wanting to do one or two with me, and if anytime they bring all those things I refuse, they will target arrogance. Lieutenant Colonel Osareme, because I refused to sleep with him, he did not only give order for them to assault me and my child, my 3-year-old boy. He gave them order to lock me up. He did not only stop there. They still charged me for the assault. They still charge me that I escaped confinement, and then they rank me. Where is that thing being done? That you will assault a soldier, you will lock the soldier with a baby. After doing all those things, you still charge and they rank that soldier. Locking me 7 days after everything, without food, nothing, denying me access. I didn't know the whereabouts of my child throughout that 7 days in the Gadru. As an Igbo young lady, if you are not sleeping around with an officer, you will be suffering malice in Nigerian army. This is how they kept suffering us, intimidating us, maltreating us in Nigerian army. I got frustrated, I left. And yet they did not stop there. Let them leave me go. Let them let me go. Let them leave me alone. They said no. They kept threatening me. Now, my benefit of 30 years, they want to stop it. They want to revoke my certificate. They want to stop any benefit that is due to me. After I served Nigeria for 13 good years with my youth, I'm pleading for Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for help. Please, if you are seeing this video, help me post this video.
Ayo, this is not the first time allegations of sexual harassment have emerged from the Nigerian military. In January 2024, another female soldier, Ruth Ogunleye, made similar accusations against senior officers. She was subsequently arrested, investigated, and eventually discharged from service, with the army claiming that she had mental health issues. Corporal Ogumba's public appeal raises serious questions about accountability within the military and the mechanisms available for female soldiers to report abuse without facing retaliation. Ayo, we're seeing this incident again repeat itself. Corporal Ogumba has made these serious allegations. We're calling on the military.
Thank you. I was going to actually also refer to ex-private Ruth Ogunleye because you brought it up on Once Trending, and we called for an investigation, which was done. An investigation, as you already mentioned, discharged her, found her senior officer not guilty. She even mentioned names in the same way that Corporal Agumba has mentioned names. When you see another incident like this come up in less than maybe in 2 years, we then see that maybe we need to take a closer look at the rule of engagement or rules of engagement in the army, especially with regards to protecting female officers. We need to investigate these claims by Corporal Agumba because it's very similar to a claim that was made recently around not just a particular person, but the culture of sexual harassment. And that's not a tag that the Nigerian military wants to have. And so I believe that, yes, in trying to protect its name, protect the status of the military, we want to bury some stories. But I think it's even more important to protect women who, alongside the men, pay very huge sacrifices for the benefit of the nation. Women who can come out with their faces in full view, talk about allegations of sexual harassment, mention names, and truthfully, if we think about it, this is not far from the truth. It's not just in the military. In many organizations and in cultures around the nation, we see places where sexual harassment is not even properly defined. Some people will say, we're just joking with you. What is wrong with you? Is it not just a joke? A lot of women experience this. And so it's not surprising to find out that in the military, it can occur. Yes. So what we're asking for now, and thanks for highlighting the story, is that can the military address this and even call for an inquiry that if there's any other woman, so we don't want to be seeing it every other year, that has been sexually harassed or intimidated by a senior officer or a colleague, should come forward and speak and let there be actions meted out, because it doesn't look good at all for the military. And let me just say this on the final note, talking about her entitlement. Yes. Going back to the first story and tying into this, it just shows that when we talk about the military, we keep talking about the respect for the office, the respect for the authority imposed on them by the state. We must continue to push for this, whether you're male or female, whether spoken to by a civilian or another military officer. We must respect these people. We must respect the office as the authority of the state.
Absolutely. I mean, these are serious, severe allegations made by Corporal Ogumba. We look forward to a response to those allegations that she's made from the military. In another development, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, had a public exchange on X with TV host Piers Morgan after he demanded the full and unedited airing of his recent interview on Uncensored. In a post shared on X, Tuga said he appeared on the British broadcaster's flagship program to present what he described as a factual and contextual perspective on allegations of religious persecution in Nigeria. The minister stated that his explanations were supported by verifiable data, though they may not have conformed to certain preconceived views. He emphasized that for the sake of integrity and transparency, the full interview must be aired exactly as recorded without edits or selective omissions. Piers Morgan, in responding to the minister's demand, stated that, "You seem to be panicking, Foreign Minister. Rest assured, we will air your comments in full. The show is called Uncensored for a reason. Whether people believe what you said remains to be seen." Well, in response, Yusuf Tuga wrote, "I am as cool as a cucumber, Mr. Morgan, and if I wasn't more equable, I would say you are flattering yourself, but I won't. Just want to make sure you don't edit out the parts where you kept referring to the Chibok boys." Well researched. Well, I look forward to this interview. As of now, the complete version of the interview has not been released on Piers Morgan Uncensored's official platform. But, you know, we got a response from the Foreign Ministry's office saying that Yusuf Tuga was actually responding to the guest who had called him a liar on set. So it wasn't like he felt uncomfortable. He was actually responding to the guest to make sure that Piers Morgan air the whole show. I mean, Piers Morgan said it's called Uncensored for a reason, so I highly doubt that he would, clip it out. Ezra Olu.
So guys, there's this headline on the Twitter space where Premium Times has confirmed that this swap ambushes Nigerian military convoy, reportedly kidnaps general, kills soldiers. So guys, this is it. Nigeria is boiling under the Tinubu's government. Since Trump came out to make these threats of coming to Nigeria, guess what? The Tinubu's government is sitting as if nothing is happening. I mean, by this time, we're supposed to see Tinubu setting up like a joint task force, community police. People should raid the forest, Reverend Ezekiel Dachumo came out to say there is a mountain in their area, that mountain has been taken over by Boko Haram members. What is the Nigerian military waiting for? Now, don't forget that Nuhu Ribadu has been accused of some of these recent government policies like pardoning the bandits, negotiate. He is the national security advisor. He's the one that tells Tinubu, look at the strategy we'll take, look at the things we'll do, look at the best way to follow this. He is the one, a Fulani man. Tell me why these crises are not going to be continuing. Because they believe they have to protect their tribe, they have to protect their culture, they have to protect their people's interests. It's not about Nigeria, it's about their interests. You know, then former Naval chief came out to say that the plan is to Islamize Nigeria. So what are we still wasting time? That is the plan, and the agenda is huge. Because they have very strong financiers, if it's in terms of money. Because see the AK-47 these people are carrying. AK-47, I heard it costs more than $1,000. People carrying it didn't even attend primary 5. But they are carrying AK-47, they know how to operate it. So guys, there is pure complicity in what we are seeing. Now, this man said Nigeria is in the situation because leadership has long been in the hands of people from the north and southwest who have shown incompetence and bias. And this other person here said, bandits kidnapped a general care. Who go come protect us now? This person here said, this would be the first record instance of any extremist group in Nigeria capturing a 7th general directly from the front line. There will be more of such unless Trump intervenes to address Nigerian government and Nigerian military's inability to combat Islamic terrorists. And this person say, and una still no one humble on herself and allow Donald Trump to come help una things say terrorists now weak. We are all here. You guys will be tired of shifting the narrative to US invading Nigeria to what it truly is, which is US fighting terrorists. Generals are being kidnapped, directors in the Ministry of Defense too. But we are not a country of particular concern, self-delusion of grandeur. And this person say, did anyone notice that attack has intensified after Trump's tweets? And this other person now say, you cannot recruit terrorists into the military and be expecting to succeed. What do you think they will go into the army to achieve? Nigeria is a blessed country run by very confused people. And this other person here said, when repentant Boko Haram fighters are woven into the military, leaks and ambushes are inevitable. Soldiers die, generals vanish. This is a cause of dangerous experiment. And this other person here said, some still thinks we don't need foreign help. Our intelligence gathering is too weak and poor to confront those monsters. It's time for the Nigerian security agencies to wake up and start using modern security equipment. The use of satellite data, military drones, and tracking devices. See, ordinary Nigerians are the ones telling Nigerian military what to do. This person here said, terror is still killing soldiers and kidnapping a 7th general. General, not a captain, not a colonel, but a 7th general of Nigerian army, and not a single word from the army high command. Nigeria is indeed a disgraced country. That means the military has not even come out to report on this, you know. And this is, imagine the audacity, ambushes military convoy, kidnaps a whole general in army. In this 2025, Haba, who are leaking information? Nigerian army. Is there no intel at all? Nigerian Air Force. Is there no air surveillance and support? This is too much. Ew. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.